Senator Bennett, I'm from the Stockton Eagle. Sure didn't expect to see you driving this stage.
Well, I had no choice, honey.
Something happened to the driver?
Yeah, a couple of fellas held us up 4 or 5 miles out of town, you know. They nicked the driver here in the shoulder. Hey, a couple of you boys get a hand. Get him out of here. Come on, Archie. All right, boy.
Did you recognize them?
Didn't have time to recognize him. Just shot him. All right, get the man over to the doctor now.
Well, a term in Congress doesn't seem to have spoiled your aim, Senator.
Why should it? We're always taking pot shots at one another in the Senate chamber, huh? Well, I certainly didn't expect anything like this. A warm welcome homecoming. I want to thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Yes. Thank you, one and all. Stockton Eagle, eh?
Well, Senator.
Well, now, I hardly expected a welcome from the opposition.
I'm not extending one, I assure you. I live here at the hotel.
I thought maybe you'd come to bury the hatchet, Your Honor.
My party's never going to make peace with gunslinger politics, Bennett. No matter how colorful they may seem.
Sometimes I get the feeling that Judge Daggett doesn't approve of me.
How about a statement, Senator?
Why, just one second. I'd be glad to oblige you, young man. Now, you. I don't make no bones about it. I've come back to run for re-election. I want the job, I can do the job, and I'm the best doggone man in the world for the job.
I'll second that.
Victoria
Jim.
Buckley, you are a sight for hungry
I
eyes.
heard you were coming to Stockton. Is Amelia with you?
No, she's still in Washington.
Oh.
We thought the trip might be a little too much for her. What are you doing here? I thought you'd be at the ranch.
Oh, we're having the house renovated, and I'm staying here till it's finished.
Family with you?
I'm beginning to wonder if I have a family this week. Nick and Heath are out on the range, Jared's staying in the bunkhouse, and Audra's in New York.
Little lot in New York?
Mm-hmm.
We do have a lot of catching up to do.
Almost 6 years.
Say, what about tonight, dinner, huh? Just the two of us, we can fill in all the gaps.
It sounds wonderful.
About 7 o'clock in the dining room.
Fine.
Victoria? You still found a pheasant and a chilled bottle of Chablis.
Mm-hmm. And our Chablis was particularly good this past year.
It's a shame we can't arrange with a hotel to furnish us with a gypsy orchestra.
Your company is enough, Jim. See you.
Stockton Eagle, huh?
That's right, Senator.
Thank you. Oh, be sure and spell the name right.
I knew Ben had once courted Victoria Barkley before he got married. I never realized their relationship was so close.
Victoria, during the time I was in Washington, I think the most difficulty I had was trying to learn two things. First, how to control my temper, and secondly, how to balance one of those silly little teacups on my knee.
Well, apparently you managed both very well. I didn't hear of a single incident while you were in Washington.
No, otherwise there wouldn't have been an opposition senator or a teacup left in one piece.
You know, you're absolutely right, Victoria. This Chablis is excellent.
We had a lot of rain last year, and that makes a great difference.
Well, it bears out what I've always said. You know, given proper irrigation, there isn't anything you couldn't raise in California. Why, it could be the greatest, the richest agricultural center in the world.
Well, I imagine we'll come to that someday.
If only we could convince people like William Daggett that the most important problem is water. What we need is an aqueduct, a canal system of some kind, you know? No, all they can think about is how much money it's going to cost, not how much money it will eventually earn for the state. You know, they're blind. They have no foresight. They're just not in touch with destiny.
You really believe in this state, don't you?
Yes, I do, Victoria. Yeah, I was raised in the Sierras, you know, brought up, schooled in a gold mining town. I guess I'm just part of the dust and the dream.
I suppose we all are. Otherwise, we wouldn't be here. And so, to destiny. Oh, I've missed you in Amelia these past years. I wish you were here.
So do I, Victoria, but our doctor advised against me.
Are you blind? Huh? Why don't you watch where you're going?
Oh, it's all right,
The
Jim.
clumsy boy.
Now, wait a minute. Wait a minute. I want to make it up to the little lady.
Take your hands off.
Come on, little lady. I won't buy you.
Take your hands off her. Drunken fool.
Jim!
What's the matter with you?
No.
You all right?
I had that coming. Sorry, ma'am.
Guess I haven't learned to control my temper as well as I thought. I'm sorry, Victoria.
Mrs. Bartlett?
Who is it?
Message from Senator Bannard.
Just a minute.
He's in room 20, ma'am.
Jim.
Huh?
Victoria.
Oh. Yeah, I'll be right there. Good night. Huh?
What is it? What happened?
Happened nothing. What do you mean?
Well, this note, it said to come here right away.
Well, I didn't write you any notes.
Well, I don't understand.
No, neither do I. What is this? Who bought you this?
Well, one of the clerks, I guess. I don't know. I was half awake. I merely glanced at him.
I don't like the looks of this. We better get you back to your room.
Hold it, Senator!
I figured Daggett was desperate, but I didn't think he'd be this desperate.
Judge Daggett? Oh, no, I've known him for years. I don't agree with him politically any more than you do, but this...
I'm afraid you've got a lot to learn about politics, Victoria. His only chance of winning this election is to discredit me. Yeah, it looks like the honorable judge has embarked on a smear campaign.
Well, what are you going to do?
Victoria, this is going to be bad enough for me, but I'm not going to let him drag you into it, and the sooner he knows that, the better.
But you haven't any proof. If you start trouble...
I didn't start the trouble. He did.
All right. At least talk to Jared first. Find out where you stand legally. But this may not even be politics. No, there are some people in this valley that don't particularly care for the Barclays. It could be aimed at me.
All right. Jared at the ranch?
We'll be there in an hour.
Yeah, he had everything all set up in advance. The camera, ladder at the window, the rig waiting outside the hotel. All he had to do was snap the picture and run.
Did you get a look at him?
Well, no, the flash kind of blinded our eyes for a minute, Jared, and it all happened so fast.
And you're sure there were no witnesses?
It was 3 o'clock in the morning.
Well, how about outside? Could anyone have seen him use the ladder?
No, not even the town drunk was up that late. Oh, it was a mighty clever frame, all right. A married United States senator traveling alone meets up with a beautiful widow that he once courted. Well, it fits just as neat as a hook in a boot, hmm?
It fits, all right.
You know what bothers me the most, Jared, is what this scandal could do to your mother's reputation. Just smear it right...
Oh, hang my reputation. I've been gossiped about before.
But not like this, Victoria. They'll drag your name through the mud in every barber shop, pool hall, saloon. Everybody from preachers to drunks will be talking about you.
My name has probably been mentioned in worse places than saloons.
Well,
But the important thing is, how will all this talk affect your chances for re-election?
Badly, I'm afraid. If we can do what it did to Andrew Jackson, think what it'll do to Jim.
yes, the political consequences are going to be bad enough, and well, then there's Amelia.
Amelia?
Sure. Newspapers will blow this up out of all proportion. When she sees that picture in the paper...
Oh, surely she won't believe anything like this.
You're a beautiful woman, Victoria. And Amelia's known all along that I've been very fond of you. It could worry her, and with her heart as bad as it is.
Now, wait a minute, Jim. I think we're getting a little ahead of ourselves. Let's deal with what has happened, not what might.
Uh-huh.
Now, first of all, I think you should stay here tonight.
Here?
Right here. The work on the house is almost finished, and you planned to be back here tomorrow anyway, didn't you?
I can't stay here, Jared, especially after what's happened. But people will be gossiping even more than they are now.
That's exactly the point, Jim. You've always stayed here, and if you don't stay here now, it's going to make people wonder what you are hiding.
Jared is right. Now, think about it, Jim. Think about it. If you do leave here now, what do? Just stop talking to each other and ignore each other when we meet?
I just don't like to be hamstrung. Now, I'm going to find Daggett, and I'm going to stop this thing before it even starts.
If you do that, Jim, without proof, Daggett won't need those pictures. He'll sue you for slander.
I guess maybe you're right. All right. I'll stay here. Because if I go back to that hotel, I'd probably run into him, and you know me and my short fuse.
Exactly. So you just sit tight. I'll check around town tomorrow. I've got some pretty good informants. One of them might know something.
Fine. Thanks, Jared. Just try to remember, waiting has never been one of my strong points.
ladies and gentlemen, that I'm holding here in my hand weighs less than half an ounce. By measurement, no more than 1.5 inches across. It's small. But nobody can tell me how hard a man has to work to earn one of these. Because you see, my family were farmers. And at a very early age, believe me, I learned what it took to put $1 away in my jeans. I'll tell you something, I haven't forgotten that. I'm not ashamed to say that I value money. And I can't spend $1, mine or yours, without first knowing where that dollar is going and whether I'm going to get a full dollar's value in return. And I'm distressed, my friends. I am appalled by some of the men in our government who squander our taxes as if it were so much corn seed, who instead of being the guardians of our money, are ready to pour it out in all kinds of wild, fanciful schemes. Now, you take my opponent, Senator Bannock, for example. Now, this man argues that building aqueducts is progressive, is far-seeing. There's no such thing, my friends. It is as reckless an idea as I've ever heard, and in the end could bankrupt this whole state. Now, that's not a far-seeing idea, is it? Senator Bannock is no visionary. I'll tell you what he is. Senator Bannock is a man of incredible impulse. We all know of his record of impulsive acts, the gun duels, of fist fights. Only the other night at the hotel, he almost battered a man senseless. Now, some of you may admire behavior like that, but I want to tell you that rashness has no place in the Senate of the United States. We don't want a hair-trigger temper in our representatives, my friends. We want stability. We don't want scandal. We want dignity. We want sanity. And if you agree with me, and you know how to mark your ballot, defeat this man, my friends. Show him the only trigger we respect is the vote.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, Jared.
Hello, Will. Oh, thanks, Sam. Give my best to your wife.
Haven't seen you in quite a while.
How have you been?
Busy, especially with the elections and all.
I can imagine.
I don't suppose I can count on Barclay support.
Afraid not, Will. Politically, we're still on opposite sides of the fence.
Well, that's what makes horse races and elections.
I guess so.
Oh, I didn't see Bannock at breakfast this morning. I understand he cut quite a figure in the dining room last night. How was he?
When I see him, I'll ask.
Sombrero! Come on, Sombrero. I knew you'd remember me. Look what I got for you. I remember me, old Jimbo. Sure enough, your old trail buddy, you do. Huh? Well, I thought sure enough you would. How you been? Huh? You looking good. How are you? It sure is mighty good to see you again.
He's been waiting for you, Jim. Hasn't answered a whistle well, ever since you left.
Hey, that's it, huh? Yeah, sure gonna hate to leave him, you know. We sheriffed a lot of trails together, me and Sombrero. But then, if I shouldn't win the election, I wouldn't have to leave him. That'd be kind of a bright spot, wouldn't it?
Well, I see Sombrero still remembers you.
I sure did. Great old boy, anyhow, just as sleek and sassy as ever. I bet you he can still outrun anything in sight.
Well, now, I don't ever remember him outrunning Misty Girl.
Well, he never really tried, you know. He didn't want to discourage her.
That has all the earmarks of a challenge.
It is.
You got a race. Length of the pasture and back?
All right. He's getting my saddle out of the barn. Oh, do you think Misty Girl will be able to make it to the end of the pasture and back?
Oh, let's go. Did you find out anything?
I've only had one day.
No luck then, Jared, huh?
Not yet, Jim. I checked the hotel. The room next to yours wasn't rented.
Well, then he must have had a pass key. And what about the valise and the camera tripod? What did the desk clerk say about that?
There wasn't any. The room was undisturbed. I checked with the housekeeper when she went in this morning to dust.
But that's impossible. We both saw the equipment.
Obviously, he had an accomplice. Now, somebody else had to be registered at that hotel to cover up his tracks for him.
That brings us right back to Daggett.
Not necessarily, Nick. This might answer a few questions for us, Jim. It was left at the hotel desk this morning for you while the clerk was off duty.
Yeah, you're right. It certainly does.
Here you are, Jim. I'll have you saddled up in just a minute.
You forget the saddle. Take a look at this.
Where'd this come from?
We don't know. It was left at the hotel this morning.
You still suggest we wait, Jared?
Yes, I do. This picture gives us motive, but not proof.
You know, one time when I was sheriff, a bunch of riffraff tried to frame me for cattle rustling so they could grab this little gold diggings I was working, you know. I didn't have any proof then either until I beat the truth out of one of them.
Jim, you're not a local sheriff anymore. You can't afford that kind of direct action, and you know it.
Well, it's better than sitting around waiting for that trap to close. Look, I kept my mouth shut because you asked me to. But I'm not going to let a thing like this be passed around.
Nick, you so much as go near Daggett, and it's going to give even more validity to that picture. Now, I'm telling you, as a lawyer, if you do anything foolish, the opposition is going to welcome it.
I'm not going to withdraw from this election no matter what. So, Jared, you go ahead and get the proof. I don't care how. And get it fast.
Get over here.
Where you going?
End of town?
This hour? Business or pleasure?
Business, but somehow I think it's going to turn out to be a little pleasure.
Like breaking into Daggett's office, trying to find those pictures?
And the plate that made him.
You know what Jared said about direct action?
Oh, now, Heath, you know I'm no politician. That doesn't apply to me.
Well, his office is in the middle of town. That's pretty risky, Nick.
Then stay home.
What makes you think I'm going?
Because you don't trust me.
That's right.
Uh-huh.
I'll saddle up.
Uh-huh.
I don't believe you gentlemen had an appointment. But then, perhaps you Barclays are in the habit of calling in the middle of the night.
This isn't exactly a call, Judge.
Oh? Well, what then? Oh, yes, apparently you were searching for something. May I ask what?
Quit playing possum, Daggett. You know what we're here for. The pictures of my mother and Jim Bannard.
Pictures?
That's right.
Pictures? You
gentleman amazes me more and more. I'm a jurist, not a photographer. Breaking and entering is a criminal offense. I'm surprised you Barclays would stoop to it.
We're surprised you'd stoop to blackmail.
That's a serious accusation to make without proof. As a lawyer, I'd advise you against repeating it. Unless you want even more trouble than you have now. The sheriff will be passing on his round soon. You know, I've known your family for years. I'd hate to do anything, shall we say, to embarrass you. So I suggest you leave before he arrives.
Jared, no sense you getting all riled up. We're just trying to help.
Help? Help who? Daggett? You certainly didn't help Jim.
Well, at least we did something. We didn't sit around and talk about
Whose
it.
harebrained idea was this anyway? It sounds like one of yours.
No, wait a minute. It
Well,
wasn't
what
such a
makes you
bad
think Daggett is going to be stupid enough to leave those pictures in his office? If he has got them, they're going to be in a safer place than that.
What happened?
Go ahead, Nick. Tell her.
All right, what is it?
Well, Heath and I ransacked Daggett's office tonight.
Ransacked it. Did you get the pictures?
All they got was caught.
Caught?
No, wait a minute. Don't blame Heath. It was all my doing. He only went along with it because he couldn't talk me out of it.
Where is Heath?
He's out in the stable, unsaddling the horses.
Nick, you've really done it this time. Not only have you broken the law, but you've handed Daggett a nice present all wrapped up in blue ribbons.
Oh, now, wait
If
a
he
minute.
isn't involved with the pictures, he knows now that we've got something to hide. And if he is involved, he knows that we're scared.
Guess we sure messed up things, didn't
That's putting it mildly. With your kind of help, you've already got him elected.
we? Jared, I admitted we made
Nick, you are the most stubborn, mule-headed...
Wait a minute. That'll be enough of that.
All right, boys, all right. Now, you listen to me. We're a family. Mistakes or not, we stand together. Now, I suggest we all go to bed, get a good night's rest, and discuss this in the morning when we're calmer.
You're right. I'm sorry, Nick. I guess I got a little carried away.
Well, I guess we both did.
Let's turn in.
Good night, Mother. Jim.
All right. Sure.
Victoria, last thing in the world I want to do is cause any bitterness between your sons. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It's gonna be like old times, isn't it, huh? You and me riding out together? Come on. Come on, boy. Come on.
Jim!
Well, now, where in blazes is he going?
Probably going for a ride.
This early in the morning?
Sure, best time of day to go.
Maybe we best follow him.
Nick, I think we better mind our own business for a change.
Yeah, all right.
Well, this is an incriminating picture. I don't wonder that you and the Barclays are concerned about it.
You deny seeing this picture before?
Are you insinuating that I have?
Well, it's pretty obvious from the message on it that the opposition party's behind this. And you are the opposition, Daggett, whether you're willing to admit it or not.
Bennett, you seem to be making a pretty serious accusation. I hope you're prepared to prove it.
I'm prepared to back it up with action.
Ah, action. My dear Senator, without proof, that will be as indiscreet as being photographed in your hotel room with Victoria.
Who said it was my hotel?
Well, isn't that the obvious place? I simply assume that you and,
Is it obvious? Well, Victoria had a room in the hotel, too. How do you know it wasn't in her room?
Your room, her room, what difference does it make? The point is, you've finally slipped up. You've finally been caught in something that'll show the voters what an unprincipled man you are.
A liar and a blackmailer, Daggett. I might not be able to prove it, but one thing, I'm not going to stand still for a smear campaign. If you're going to try and discredit me, you're going to have to do it not only in public, but at gunpoint. Do you understand me, Daggett? At gunpoint.
Violence. You think that's the answer to everything, don't you, Bennett? Violence. Well, I'll tell you something. It isn't going to work this time. You're not going to force me into a gun duel with you, no matter what you do.
I'll be waiting for you tomorrow morning at the south edge of town, Daggett. And if you're not there, I'm going to come and get you.
If you do, you'll meet the sheriff.
Sheriff won't be able to keep me away from you forever. Tomorrow morning. I want to remember, the only man who's going to withdraw from this election will be the dead man.
Well, finally. I was beginning to think you weren't coming, Gil.
I wouldn't have if your message hadn't said it was so important. It's risky meeting this close to town.
I didn't have any choice. I want some more prints of that picture right away.
I told you to let me make more than just 2 copies.
I didn't think I was going to have to use them. But Bannard refuses to withdraw. Here's the plate. I want enough prints for every newspaper in the state.
All right. But you'll have to pick them up. I'm not coming out here from Oxville again. With a man like Bannard involved, it's just too dangerous.
All right, I'll tell you what. I'm driving to Sacramento in the morning. I'll pick them up at your shop on my way.
Oh? Our original deal was for $200.
That's right.
This will cost you a little extra.
What are you talking about? Our deal included as many prints as I wanted, and you know it.
It didn't include 2 trips.
All right, I'll give you another $50.
150 sounds more like it.
150?
Bannard would probably be willing to pay even more.
All right. You just better make those prints legible. Or you don't get a cent.
Your clerk said you'd be back in a few minutes, so I decided to wait.
I presume you came for the same reason Bannard did.
Jim was here?
Oh, yes. A couple of hours ago. He showed me that rather, shall we say, interesting picture of the two of you.
I didn't know he was planning to discuss this with you.
We discussed nothing. He insulted and threatened me.
That picture is a fraud, Will. I came here to ask you to put a stop to it.
Indeed. And what makes you think I could?
Well, it may not be your doing, but obviously someone in your party is behind it. And with your influence, you could certainly put a stop to it.
Last night, your sons ransacked my office, accused me of arranging for the picture. Now you come in and ask me for my help.
What Nick and Heath did was wrong, but they were trying to end a vicious smear, and so should you. No matter what you think about Jim, I can't believe that you would condone such dishonest tactics to defeat him.
Jim Bannard is an impractical man, with plans that will ruin this whole state. He's also a violent, unprincipled killer. He proved that today when he threatened my life. I feel that anything which defeats him is a service to the people.
Then you're willing to allow this fraud to go through?
Fraud? I wasn't in that hotel room, Victoria. Only you and Bannard were. You'll regret that, Victoria. Believe me.
I doubt it.
Victoria? You can tell your Senator Bannard I won't be at the edge of town tomorrow morning. I'll be driving to Sacramento. By the time I arrive, I'll expect word of his withdrawal from this campaign.
I knew we disagreed on politics, Will, but not on principle. Obviously, I was wrong. Good morning, Jim.
Good morning, Victoria.
Breakfast will be ready. What are you doing?
You said Daggett was driving to Sacramento this morning. I'm going after him.
Those?
That message he sent was a threat, Victoria. It was carefully disguised, yes, I'll admit, but nevertheless a threat.
So are those pistols.
At least they're honest.
Daggett is not going to fight a duel with you. He told you that yesterday.
And I'll just have to make him change his mind.
Bennett.
Victoria gave me your message, Daggett. I'm here to give you one last chance to settle this thing honorably.
Honorably? Well, I couldn't outdraw you, and you know it.
All right? We'll even the odds. I'll give you first shot with a dueling pistol.
You're even more of a fool than I thought you were. I don't deal in guns. Get out of my way, Bannard.
Very well. You leave me no choice. But first, I'm going to have to relieve you of those pictures.
You'll relieve me of nothing!
He's dead, Jim.
Got to find those pictures. Nothing. He must be in his valise. Got to be in here. One. There's got to be more than one. It just doesn't make sense.
Maybe the sheriff will find more.
What are you talking about?
A man is dead, Jim. We have to report it.
Do you know what that could mean? Huh? But they'll accuse me of murder.
But it was an accident. I saw it.
You saw it. You, the compromised woman. The woman who was photographed in my hotel bedroom in the middle of the night. Don't you realize what the prosecution can do with that?
But the picture is a fraud. All we have to do is find the photographer.
The photographer has gone. Victoria, don't you... Will you please just listen to me? But you see, without a witness, your testimony means absolutely nothing. Huh? Why, they just tear you to pieces. They say you were lying to protect your lover. They might even accuse you of being an accomplice. No, the best thing for us to do is just walk away.
Walk away?
Sure. There's nothing here to connect us with Daggett. No pictures, no nothing. They'll find the body. They'll assume it was a robbery, and nobody will ever know any different.
We'll know it, Jim.
Victoria, if it was only my life that's at stake, or my political career, I wouldn't ask you to do this. But there's no point in reporting this now to the sheriff. Daggett's dead. We can do nothing for him. But if I have to go through a murder trial, even though I won't be convicted, but the excitement, the tension, it could very well kill Amelia.
I'm sorry, Jim. I can't withhold evidence, even for Amelia.
Well, what are you doing? I won't let you do it. You understand? You can't. I won't.
Tori. Oh.
Forgive me. Please, I just lost control. Do what you have to do.
Anybody here?
With you in a minute. Good evening, ma'am. What can I do for you?
Now, don't pretend you don't know me. We met the night you delivered that note.
Note? I don't understand. There must be some mistake.
There's no mistake, and you know it.
How'd you find me?
Judge Daggett is dead. This picture was found in his valise.
Daggett is dead?
It was an accident.
What kind of accident? Was Bannard involved?
Yes. But it didn't happen the way you think. I saw it. Now, I need your help. Unless I can prove that this picture is a fraud, my testimony won't mean a thing.
Oh, no. I'm not getting mixed up in any murder. I've got enough trouble.
You're indirectly responsible for this tragedy. One man is dead and another's life is at stake. Doesn't that mean anything to you?
Not when it's him or me. You know, just being part of a blackmail plan is a jail offense. And it wouldn't be my first one.
All right. If you won't testify willingly, I'll have you subpoenaed.
I'm getting out of here just as fast as I can.
You won't get very far. Once I report this, every sheriff in this state will be after you.
Oh. Well, we can't have that, can we? Not for a while. Not for quite a while.
Jared would get back. I'm as spooky as a cow pony with a burr under his blanket. Can't even write a letter to Amelia.
Would you like me to write to her?
No, thank you, Victoria. The words will come. Maybe I'd be better off to wait until we hear what Gil had to say. Victoria, suppose he won't admit that the picture was a fraud. You know, he can say that Daggett hired him just to get a picture as proof that we were lovers. We won't be any better off than we were before.
But Jared has the note Gil wrote the night he took the picture. He can't deny his own handwriting.
Well, in his boots, he'd be smart to deny everything and stick to it.
Jared's handled tougher cases than this. He'll break them down.
I hope so.
You can pour me one of those, Jim.
Jared, I thought you'd never get back.
I'm sorry it took so long, but that photographer was a little tougher to crack than I thought.
But did he confess?
All of it.
Oh, Jim.
Thank you, Jared. Thanks.
It was my pleasure. Of course, there'll be an inquest, maybe even a trial. But with Gil's testimony and Mother as an eyewitness, you haven't got a thing in this world to worry about.
Well, Jim, it looks like your chances for re-election are better than ever.
Provided, of course, that the voters are willing to accept the testimony on its face value.
Well, of course they'll accept it. They like you. And what was it you said that night at dinner? That you wanted to be part of the dust and the dream.
Jim, I think these voters want that dust irrigated. And they figure you're the...
As late as it's getting.
Tell you what, I go further down the line, and you follow up here.
That's what I figured.
What's that?
Well, that just gives me about twice as much fence to check as you.
Well, you're young and healthy.
It'll be dark before I'm through. Maybe I'll spend the night in the lion shack. Come on in the morning.
Suit yourself.
Keith Barkley? What can I do for you? Remove your weapon. Look, if you fellas are figuring on robbing me, well, I gotta... Silence! Now hear my words. On the morrow, you'll stand before a tribunal of my people to be tried on a charge of murder. For murder? There's no more to be said. Now get on your horse. Look, mister, I don't know what kind of loco talk you're making, but Enough! He'll be punished properly at the trial. Now put him on his horse. Hurry! The day wanes and we must travel far.
Well, are you ever going to move it? All right, that's 3. Now, you want to try for 4?
You just caught me when I was very tired from riding a fence all day.
Saddest story I've ever heard.
Yeah.
Isn't Heath here yet? Dinner will be spoiled if we wait much longer.
No, and as late as it is, I doubt if he'll be coming in at all.
Well, we'd better eat then. Although I must say, I don't like the idea of his eating from a tin can in that lime shack.
Especially if he knew we were having a beef roast.
The truth of the matter is, I think Heath was looking for an excuse to spend the night out on the range.
You're probably right. He's told me that once in a while he likes to be off by himself, do a little thinking. Says it makes him appreciate it more when he gets back.
This is the one.
It is?
Pig! Kill him. Kill him right now!
You'd find no gratification in such an action, my child.
Yes, I would.
Silence! When the sun rises, then will he be judged.
And punished according to the laws of our people.
So be it. Now fetch him some food, child. Give me the cage. Wait a minute.
See what else he's got.
All right. Uh-oh, looky here.
Hey. Yeah, that's real nice.
Give me that.
How much money you got there, Brother Cyrus?
It counts to better than $20. Look. Hey, ain't that a lot for him?
You know, Brother Cyrus, well, 5 years of living with a man as thick as her husband was in this long period of mourning, well, it ain't good for either her or you.
I know, Brother Benjamin. I know. And I aim to speak to Brother Hammett about that.
Quiet, brethren. We'll begin. State your name.
You know my name.
This court has been convened, Heath Barkley, to judge you on a charge of murder. Have you anything to say before sentence is passed?
I don't know what this is all about. But if you think I murdered somebody, then you should turn me over to the sheriff.
No. You killed one of our people. Therefore, you should be tried by our laws. I am no judge, and they're your jurors.
I tell you, there's some mistake. I didn't kill anybody.
You killed this woman's husband.
When?
5 days ago.
Mister, you're wrong. 5 days ago, I was home working on my family's ranch, and I can prove that.
He died 5 days ago from a bullet you put in him 5 years ago.
What are you talking about?
His name was Joshua, and he was a man of peace. Yet on the 3rd day of March in the year 1872, while passing by night on the road near White Springs, you accosted him, attempted to rob him, and then shot him. If you deny this, you lie.
I don't deny I was around White Springs about that time. And I shot at someone. The man was trying to rob me. I was bedded down for the night, and he was trying to steal my horse.
Silence. Then you admit you shot Joshua.
I only admit that I shot at someone. I don't know who. I don't even know if I hit him or not.
Your mark was true. The bullet lodged in his back. It could not be removed. It slowly spread poison in his system until that poison killed him.
He was paralyzed from it. He had no feeling from the waist down. He feel nothing at all. He couldn't walk. He couldn't do anything. For 5 years, he was like that.
I had to carry him. Every place he went, like a little baby.
But can't you understand? I didn't murder him. I was only protecting myself and what was mine.
It's Joshua's word against yours.
But he's dead. Look, can't you see I'm not the kind of man that goes around robbing and killing people? Doesn't anybody believe me?
What say you, brethren? Does he speak the truth? So be it. Heath Barkley, you have been found guilty as charged.
I tell you I'm not guilty.
Your sentence has been prescribed. Eye for an eye, tooth for tooth, hand for hand, and foot for foot. Therefore, as you have taken away life, you must replace it with your own.
You can't kill me for something I didn't do.
I did not say you'd be put to death. I said you must replace it with your own life. You will replace the one that's been taken from us.
What do you mean by that?
In time, perhaps you will learn the goodness of our ways. We are a simple people. We ask for little and take only what Providence provides. We live in righteous fear and look upon one another for sustenance. You, therefore, will provide as Joshua provided.
I don't understand what you're talking about.
By your hand, this woman was left without support or provision. Accordingly now, you will serve her as you're directed.
What do you mean, as I'm directed? You can't make me serve her or anybody else.
You will do as you are told, work as you're directed, and live out your days in penance. In doing so, you have been given your only hope for salvation.
What's it going to be, Brother Barkley? You gonna behave yourself so as we can get along?
Tell him what to do.
I need wood for my fire. It gets cold at night, and I like a nice big fire.
Come on.
figure.
Why?
Why Heath didn't get to this part of the fence. I left him just a little beyond here.
Maybe he went after some new wire.
If he wanted wire, he'd have come home for it. He wouldn't have stayed at the line shack.
Might be trying to get in some extra bunk time.
Uh-huh. Well, now, we'll just see to that.
And on the other hand, maybe he isn't.
That enough?
I said I liked a big fire.
That's right, you did. Well, I can't say as I blame you. Warm fire can be kind of comforting to someone who's alone.
Helps.
I'm sorry.
What for?
That you lost your man. That you're alone. No woman should be like that.
Listen, don't you try to soft talk me.
I just said I'm sorry. And I am.
You waste water like it was real easy to get. Well, it ain't. It's got to be carried up from the lake. So from now on, that'll be your job. Now, you get back into your cage. Evening, Bettina. You got enough wood?
For a while. I brung us food.
Well, I'd say that's right fine if I was a little hog. Yeah, lie down there and slop it up.
Don't. If you kill him, you'll be doing him a favor.
All right. I don't want to do him no favors. Bettina, sit down. I want to talk.
What's it about?
About you and me. About what I've been saying to Brother Hemet. It ain't right. Us two being the only ones hereabouts that ain't... Bettina, you know I got a feeling for you, don't you?
You forget I'm in mourning for a year.
Well, Brother Hemet could fix that if you was of a mind.
I don't think so.
Time, woman. Just give it a little more time.
Yeah, I sent Collins out to scrape up some more men. He's going to meet us down to West Gate.
We'll find him. Don't you worry, we'll find him.
It's been 2 nights, Jared.
We know.
For the men walk, maybe. But you gotta remember, we got a lot of mighty thirsty horses back to camp. So you just keep right on hauling. You and me and Brother Hammett's going to ride down the valley tonight.
What about him?
If we ain't back by morning, Brother David will keep him busy.
Oh, I reckon her seeing him work like that kind of satisfies the hate she's got for him.
Just so it don't satisfy it too much.
Where are they going?
Hunting.
At night?
There's fresh meat in the valley.
I mean, there are cattle herds in this valley. Straight all over at this time of year.
If a dumb animal has guided us, we accept it as a gift of Providence. Here's your food.
Providence, huh? Well, that kind of thinking might explain a lot of things.
What do you mean?
Nothing. But if I wait long enough, maybe Providence will provide me with something a little more digestible. Good night. Come along, Brother David.
You're wasting your time. There's nothing under that dirt but rock. Besides, you couldn't get far anyway. Cyrus's dogs won't allow it. They'd catch you and tear you apart if you tried to escape.
Is that for me? Providence moves in mysterious ways.
You'd be no good to me or anyone else if you didn't eat.
That's the kind of stuff Hemet lets you read?
Nobody knows I have it. I found it. You been to places like that?
San Francisco, Barbary Coast, sure, lots of times.
Is it a place of sin?
Well, it depends on how you look at it.
Those women. You find them attractive?
I suppose so. Of course, there's a lot of different ways a woman is attractive to a man.
Am I attractive?
I'd say so. To men like Cyrus and some of those others.
I don't care about them. I'm asking you.
Well, I might be able to give you a better answer if you'd clean yourself up and started looking the way a woman should.
Fred.
Evening, Victoria. Still no luck. Now, Nick and Jared asked me to come by and tell you they're going to bed down the lion shack tonight. And we'll all start looking again at sunup.
Well, thank you very much. I guess I'll go to bed now. Good night.
Good night.
Who's there? Leave whoever you are, before you're shamed. You hear me? Come on.
You can't escape. If you run, they'll kill you.
They can't kill me if they can't find me.
I'll tell them.
No, you won't. Not if you're any kind of a woman, you won't.
How do you know what kind of woman I am? Listen, you can find out. If you see I can speak to Hemi.
No.
Please. I'll do anything you want.
I'm sorry.
They'll find you. They'll bring you back. Then you'll be sorry.
Where's Barkley?
He attacked David and he ran off over there.
You take this road. I'll circle about. Heath Barkley, you move one step closer to that horse and I'll be forced to blow your brains out. Temper justice with mercy, Cyrus. Let him down. Now understand me. We are not of a savage nature, but rather a gentle people. For we believe that forgiveness is better than revenge or punishment. I hope by now that you have learned the hopelessness of trying to escape. For the next time, your punishment will not be so simple.
Seeing as how you people are so gentle, so understanding. My family. Their minds are to be set at ease. At least let them know they don't have to worry about me anymore. I mean, you'd expect the same consideration, wouldn't you?
It would weigh heavy on my conscience if others suffered because of your sins. What have you that they may know, would recognize?
I had a coin on a chain. He took it.
Give it to me. I will consider the matter. Now see him to his tasks. And be wary.
All right, move. You ain't even finished hauling water. Move!
It is only right that his family be set to ease.
It's like he's just vanished. We're running out of places to look.
You sound like you're giving up.
Nobody's giving up, Mother. It's just that the men, well, they're getting tired and they want to get back to work.
Well, then get other riders.
We already have.
There'll be a dozen men here ready to ride at sunup. Good night, Mother.
Good night, Mother.
It's his lucky coin.
The living know that they shall die, but the dead know not anything.
You would do well to put Heath Barkley from your memory. He is as a dead man.
Oh, no.
Oh, wait a minute. It says as a dead man.
Not is a dead man.
Hey, seeing as how he's so close to Stockton, what do you say we go on in and have a little refreshment?
I say that's a good idea. A real good idea.
Go away. Let me sleep.
I brought you some coffee. Please, I want to speak to you.
Some other time.
I say again what I said by the lake. I could make life better for you. I could speak to Emmett.
What about?
About you're taking me for your wife. so much to your dislike. I bathed for you. You saw me. And my hair, I washed it and combed it. Do you like it?
Yes, I do.
Then you like me as a woman.
There's a lot more goes into being a woman than just taking a bath and combing her hair.
I feel like a woman. When men look at me, I feel like a woman.
What men? Cyrus, some of those others? They're not men, they're animals.
My husband was just like them. I married him because I was told to. I didn't love him, I couldn't. For a long time, I thought I could never love anyone. Any man. Because I thought they were all like that. But now I'm not sure. You looked at me by the lake and you said, I'm sorry. Please, I don't want your pity.
Bettina! Wake up, child. Wake up, I say.
You gotta understand, Brother Hammond, it wasn't his fault.
He partook of liquor, did he not?
Well, that's what I mean. It was the liquor. You know how it makes him. He couldn't help himself.
That'll be all, Brother Benjamin. Ah, my child. What is it? Did you not sleep well?
I was restless.
It's understandable, very understandable. Considering the trying times you've endured, a woman all alone without... My child, I've decided it'd be wrong for you to suffer any longer. A woman is only made whole by the bonds of marriage, and that's how it should be.
You wish me to remarry so soon?
I wish only for your happiness. Therefore, I decree that your period of mourning be ended. And on the morrow's sun, I will bind you in wedlock to Brother Cyrus.
Cyrus?
Who else among us is without a woman, or sheep without a man? It is ordained. Come now. Be happy for your salvation from loneliness.
As you wish.
That's better. Now, about the money your departed husband left you. I believe it was $100, was it not?
Yes.
I'll need $50 of it as a dowry for Brother Cyrus. Now.
Now? I don't understand.
He's been put in jail in Stockton. The money is necessary for his release. And what better use could the money be put to than in behalf of one's betrothed?
I get it. May I go with you? I need cloth for a proper wedding dress.
I'll have the wagon hitched. Be ready in 5 minutes now.
Question about it, this gives us reason to hope. I'll round up the men and meet you out at the ranch in about an hour, all right?
We'll be ready.
Come on.
Now you go purchase your cloth while I get Cyrus.
What's that? That's called perfume.
Here, have a sniff.
How much is it?
The small bottle's $1.
$1. Stuff sure just smell good. You sure do have a lot of nice things in this store.
Why don't you take a look around? You don't have to buy anything you don't want.
Thank you.
Peace, brother.
That purplish cloth sure is pretty.
I'm afraid it's very costly. It isn't cloth, it's pure silk.
I need something like that for my wedding dress. See, I want it to look like this.
Bettina, we're ready to go.
I'm sorry, I'm still looking.
She was just showing me a picture of the dress she wants to make.
A dress like that is not for you. It's the cloth of a Scottish woman. This is more fitting. What is the price?
$3.
Pay for it and keep us waiting no longer.
I'll get your size.
Please, I have to hurry.
Audra had that dress made for this photograph last year.
There's no doubt about it. It had to be torn from the family photograph.
Heath carried one around like that in his wallet, only smaller, same as me. What I'd like to know is where'd the girl get it?
Fred, have you got any idea where they might be camping now?
Well, this being the dry season of the year, I'd expect they'd be back in the hills near the lake. At least that's where they camped 2 years ago.
Well, you take your boys and try Blue Lake, and we'll take ours and get you.
All right.
Well, good night, Brother David.
Good night, Brother Cyrus.
You miss me today, Brother Berkeley? Well, don't you worry. Because after Bettina and me gets married in the morning, we'll have the rest of the day. Just you and me. And the next after. For just as long as you say. Bettina, you hear me?
I'm in bed, Cyrus. What do you want?
Well, I come to say goodnight.
Thank you, good night.
That's all?
I'm very tired, Cyrus. I'm going to sleep now.
Well, all right. Good night. I'll see you in the morning.
smell of perfume. Is it too much?
Well, considering the rest of this place, no. It's kind of nice. Cyrus should be pleased.
I didn't buy it for Cyrus. I bought it, well, to prove to you that I can be a woman.
Bettina, you are a woman. It's just that...
What? That I'm not enough of a woman? You could teach me. I can learn. It takes a man to teach a woman, doesn't it? The others, Cyrus, and even the man that was my husband. You were right when you said they're animals.
But you're marrying Cyrus tomorrow.
I can't marry him if I'm not here, can I?
You'd run. To where?
Anywhere you take me. I know where they keep the key to the padlock.
We'd need horses.
I can get them.
What about the dogs?
I'll take care of them.
Understand one thing. In case you want to change your mind. Now, there are laws, civilized laws that'll keep them from taking you back. And I'll see to it. And I'll help you get a new start. But as for me, I'm not part of the bargain.
You're a man, Heath Barkley. The only man I've ever known. And I'm learning already. I think I would be disappointed if you were part of the bargain.
Well, there's nothing around here. Let's try Pine Lake. It's 2 miles on up.
Dress. I had another one. A pretty one. All picked out. But him wouldn't.
She's dead.
Yeah. It's his fault she's dead.
All right, hold it right there. Throw him down, boys.
You all right? I'm all right.
This girl was to be wed on the morrow. Why? Why, in the name of justice, couldn't the bullet have found you instead of her?
She was trying to help you escape, wasn't she?
Why? Why? For 5 years, her heart cried out for vengeance.
You're wrong. It wasn't vengeance.
You corrupted her. The days you spent with her, you stole into her mind like the serpent of Eden. You made her see evil as good.
No. I just gave her a chance to see herself as she could be. As a woman.
You turned her against her own people. Against the memory of her own husband.
Against living here in darkness.
The darkness is outside in your world, where sin and temptation blot out God's light. We kept Bettina away from Satan's reach.
And away from life. There's a lot that's bad in the world. But hiding from it isn't the answer. You've got to fight it. And in the meantime, enjoy all the good. You see, Bettina wasn't trying to free me nearly as much as she was trying to free herself and begin to live. You understand, I have to report what happened here to the sheriff.
I understand.
You take it easy, Charlie. Linneman's just inside the tack room.
Oh, it's going to take some doing to break that animal.
He's a beauty, though. He's going to make a fine cut north.
Perdóname. Who do I talk to about the job?
I do the hiring. I'm Nick Bartlett.
My name is Juan Molina, senor.
Glad to know you. What kind of work do you do?
Mostly I am a wrangler.
Can you break horses?
A little, senor.
Well, we got about 30 of them we got to iron out. How about that one over there? Like to show me what you can do?
See?
Hank, have Chico saddle up that horse again.
No saddle, please.
What?
Just a hackamore.
Chico! Let this man have a try at that horse. And no saddle, just a hackamore. He's riding him.
He's all yours, amigo. Puede suerte. Quiet. Quiet. Shh. I'm your friend. I'm not going to hurt you. Easy. Bueno, caballito. Smell. Smell. Huh? See? See?
Looks to me like he's trying to break him Indian style.
Looks like.
Heard about it, never seen it done.
How are you now, my beautiful friend, huh?
How about that? He did it.
Have you ever seen anyone break a horse like that?
Si, señorita. Once, a long time ago. But that man, he is dead now. Or so people say.
wish you'd been here earlier. I've never seen anything like it.
What?
Breaking a horse Indian style.
Oh?
Well, now, where'd you ever learn to bust a bronc like that?
From an uncle who learning from the Comanches, senor.
Ah. Oh, Mother. Mother, this is Juan Molino. This is my mother, Miss Barkley.
How do you do, Mr. Molina?
I am honored, senora.
And my sister Audrey.
How do you do? You were wonderful with the horse.
Gracias, señorita. Muchas gracias.
You really missed something, senora.
So I heard. Perhaps you'll give me an opportunity to see you at work some other time.
It will be my privilege, senora.
If you want the job, you got it. It pays 40 in beans. You can start right now if you like.
Gracias, senora. But first, I must pick up some gear I left in Stockton.
Well, you can start as soon as you get back. How's that?
Muchas gracias.
De nada.
Mucho gusto, señora. Take good care of this horse, amigo.
Muy bien.
Hasta la vista, señorita.
Benito, I'm going to take this to the dressmaker. I'll meet you back here.
Muy bien, señorita.
Oh, excuse me, honey. Been shopping, huh? Now, that ain't very polite.
Let go.
How's about thanking me by having a drink with my friend Pete?
Said let go.
We could have a real good time.
The lady alone, senores. Let her go.
You'd better mind your own business.
I am going to tell you only once more. Let You're forgetting something, senores. Apologize to the señorita. Apologize, senores.
Sorry, miss.
Benito, would you please take this to the dressmakers for me?
Seguro, come on home.
Thank you. I don't know what I would have done if you hadn't come along.
I'm very happy I was here, señorita.
Apparently you're as good with the gun as you are with horses.
I much prefer horses, señorita. Now that you're all right, I will...
I'd like to ask a favor of you.
Of course, señorita. Anything.
I have a horse. His name is Ladino. He's a...
Ladino? The one who went wild?
Yes. Well, he was foaled on our ranch, but he got away and ran with a herd of wild horses until my brothers caught him. His bloodline goes back to a horse named Steel Dust.
Steel Dust?
Well, you've heard of him?
Anyone who's heard anything about horses has heard of Steel Dust, señorita.
Well, I want to make Ladino even more famous than Steel Dust. We could start by entering him at the state fair.
We?
Well, that's the favor I was going to ask you. Could you help me break and train him?
Of course, señorita. It's a great honor. But perhaps your brothers...
It's all right with my brothers.
Well, when do we start?
Tomorrow?
Muy bien.
Thank you, Juan.
Thank you, señorita.
Hey, you guys leave some of that time for me, huh?
Have a good time, boys. Ay, Chihuahua.
What the devil happened to you?
Look pretty good, huh?
Good, you look beautiful. Hey, and you had a bath, too.
No me digas.
Where do I sleep?
Ahí, amigo.
Say, we heard about you stopping those two fellows and bothering Miss Audrey. Benito told us.
They were drunk.
Still, I would like to have seen it. How?
How about riding into town with us?
No, gracias. I've done too much riding for one day. As soon as I take care of my horse, I go to sleep.
Going to sleep?
Guy that goes to bed on Saturday night? How do you figure that? I'll see you later.
Take care of the girls for me.
All of them.
Did you see it?
See what?
That scar. The scar on the right cheek.
Well, what about it?
He had one, just like that.
Who?
He could break in a horse, Indian style, and handle a gun just like I was a part of himself. It's been 15 years. A man changes. But I know it's him.
Who are you talking about?
Joaquin. Joaquin. Joaquin Murrieta.
I thought you'd gone stalking with the others.
I came back.
Well, then go to bed.
I came back to talk to you.
What about?
You don't remember me. But I knew you in San Andreas. I worked in the cantina. The first time I saw you was right after those gringos had killed your wife. The night you swore that you would kill them, every man who had touched her. And when gringos hanged your brother, Elena Santos came to live with my sister.
What are you talking about?
You remember Elena. She loved your brother very much. Elena, she still works in San Andreas in the cantina. And
look, old man, you've got me mixed up with somebody else. I've never been in San Andreas, and I've never been married, and have no brothers. And I don't know anybody named Elena.
You do not have to worry. The gringos, they will never suspect who you are. They want to believe Joaquin Murrieta is dead.
Joaquin Murrieta?
We have been waiting for you. Hundreds of us. We knew you would come back someday. Hombres from all over, ready to ride with you again.
What's the matter with you, huh? You had too much tequila, huh? Joaquin Murrieta is dead.
No.
He's been dead for many years. The gringos killed him.
You are Joaquin.
Listen to me, old man. You're wrong. I am not Joaquin. Do you understand? Do you? Put out the light.
I brought us some lemonade.
Oh, gracias, señorita.
To you and Ladina.
You were right, señorita. He's a beautiful animal. Watching him, I almost wish we didn't have to take his freedom from him. But then...
Then?
But then I remembered he belongs to you, and what does a lucky horse like that have to complain about? Señorita, soon it'll be El Cinco de Mayo and the big fiesta to celebrate it. Will you be going?
Probably.
Well, then, perhaps I will see you there. And you will do me the honor of having a dance with me.
Are you a good dancer?
Well, I don't like to boast. But,
Well, maybe we could have more than one dance. Shall we get to work?
Sí. Enseguida.
Hi.
Well, look at you. Heath. Sorry. Well, he looks like he's been harnessed all of his life.
Whose horse is that?
I don't know. Maybe we better take a look. Oh, Heath.
Señores, señorita.
out pasture. I found him like that. His horse must have thrown him.
Easy.
Yeah.
Well, we better get the wagon, get him on back to town.
A man works for us for 5 years and we know nothing about it.
Here's something. Where do you suppose he's kept this after all these years?
I remember talking to him once about Murrieta. To Benita and a lot of others, Murrieta was a hero, a sort of a Robin Hood, avenging all the wrongs done to himself and his people. And it's a strange thing. Benita never believed it was Murrieta who was killed in Priest Valley.
What do you think?
I don't know. I never gave it enough thought to have an opinion. Well, I'll go up in the attic and see if I can find something to put these things in.
Oh, excuse me, senorita.
Oh, Juan, you don't have to go. Mother and I are just going through Benito's things to see if we can find the name of someone to notify. We found this in his Bible. Seems as though Benito didn't believe Joaquin was ever killed.
Benito was an old man, senorita. And things got mixed up in his head. Joaquin was struck down like an animal. And like an animal, his head was cut off by the gringos and put in display like a trophy of the hunt.
Horrible.
Horrible? Why horrible, senorita? Joaquin was a thief and a killer. No matter that he stole and killed only after the gringos had attacked and murdered his wife. After all, why should Joaquin have had any feelings? He was just another greaser.
Don't use that word.
I am sorry.
Nobody on this ranch is considered any better or worse than anyone else.
Please, accept my apologies.
Good evening, Fred.
Evening, Victoria.
Come in.
I'm sorry to bother you this time of night, but there is something I would like to talk to you about.
Of course, what is it?
That's a telegram Benita sent this morning, addressed to a woman named Elena Santos over in San Andreas. Now, all it says is El Patrio is alive.
El Patrio, the Patriot.
Yeah. Mean anything to you?
Well, if I remember correctly, that's what some of Murrieta's friends used to call him. Oh, surely you don't think Murrieta's still alive.
Well, not exactly, but Elena Santos did know Joaquin. She was the girlfriend of Murrieta's brother, Claudio. Until I read this telegram, I had no reason to believe that Benito hadn't been killed in a fall from his horse.
But now you do.
Well, not necessarily, but Doc Morar says he could have been killed by a blow from the butt of a rifle or something like that, so I just thought I ought to have a talk with the vaquero who found Benito's body.
Juan Molina, why?
Well, Victoria, suppose Molina really is Murrieta. He'd want to keep that a secret, wouldn't he?
And you think Juan killed Benito because Benito found out who he was?
It's possible, isn't it?
Oh, now, Fred, aren't you reaching for something way out on the end of a limb?
Nick, there are a lot of important people who don't believe that was really Murrieta that Captain Love and his Rangers killed.
But the state paid Captain Love and his Rangers the reward.
Wells Fargo refused to pay the reward it had posted, and so did most of the other banks. Now, I would like to have a talk with Juan Molina.
All right, come on.
Hey, Molina, we could use some fresh money in this game.
I gave up gambling a long time ago.
Juan.
Si, senor.
Will you step out here a minute, please?
Juan Molina? It's Sheriff Madden. He wants to ask you a few questions.
What do you want to know?
The name Elena Santos mean anything to you? Benito sent her a telegram telling her that Joaquin Murrieta is alive.
So, what does that have to do with me, senores?
You lived all your life in the galleys, huh?
Si. What are you saying, then? You think I am Joaquin Murrieta?
No, I'm not too sure. I know what the sheriff's saying, Juan.
I want to know why Benito sent this telegram.
Oh, Fred, Benito's an old man. He was imagining things.
Maybe.
Sheriff, to all North Americanos, Joaquin Murrieta was a bandido and a murderer. And that is true. But why, senores? Huh? What made him what he was? His brother was lynched for a crime he did not commit. His wife was attacked and killed. And not by one man, but by 13 filthy, drunken gringos. Rosita was only 17, senores. And she was so beautiful. But not after those swines were through with her. And then they stomped and bit Joaquin and left him for dead. But he would not die. A bandido, a murderer. He was much more than that to me, senores. He was a man who fought back for himself, for Rosita, for his people. You flatter me if you think I am Joaquin. It is an honor to be mistaken for him. But that is what it is, senores. A mistake. I'm not Joaquin Murrieta.
Supposed to be riding fence today?
Yeah.
Forget it. I want you to pull the Mustangs out of Shadow Canyon.
All right.
Juan Molina will give you a hand.
Molina?
That's right. Something the matter?
Yeah.
Well?
I know why the sheriff was out here last night, Nick. All the men do.
Go on.
Well, I ain't talking for nobody but myself.
Will you get to the point, Hank?
The point is, I think you ought to get rid of him.
Fire him.
Yeah.
What for?
Well, I wasn't going to say anything, but I thought something was funny about Molina right from the start. He stays to himself. He don't talk. He won't go to town.
So what does that prove?
Maybe nothing, maybe a lot. But if the sheriff thinks maybe he's Joaquin Murrieta, that's good enough for me.
Well, it's not good enough for me. And no one, you or anyone else, is going to tell me who I can hire and who I can fire. Now, you get to work.
I'm not going to work with Molina. And I'm not going to live in the same bunkhouse with him. I saw what Murrieta did to some men once up in Spanish Flats. He went kill crazy just like that. And well, it wasn't very pretty, Nick. And the same thing could happen around here.
That is, if he is Murrieta.
I've been with you a long time. But if that guy Molina stays, I go.
Well, looks like I came by just in time to wish you adios. Now you get your gear and get out of here. Oh, and if you bump into anyone else that feels the same way you do, you tell them to come by the house. I got their pay waiting for them, too.
Buenos días, señorita.
Good morning, Juan.
You're not going to ride Ladino this morning, señorita?
No, I have some errands to do in town. I'd like you to drive me. Would you get the buggy, please?
Bien. Señorita, perhaps it would be better if one of the other men would drive it to town.
I asked you.
But there is so much talk.
I know all about the talk. Hank Mitchell spread most of it out of spite because Nick fired him.
But people believe it.
But then they're fools.
You're not afraid of me, señorita?
Do I have any reason to be?
No.
And will you get the buggy, please?
Muy bien.
You going to town?
Yes, I've asked Juan to drive me.
Oh?
Yes, I want to show the people in town that we don't believe the suspicion about him. Oh, it is all right, isn't it?
You bet it's all right.
Morning, Victoria.
Sheriff?
Good morning.
Miss Santos, this is Mrs. Barkley and her daughter, Audra. This is Elena Santos, the lady that Benito Flores sent the telegram to. She just got in on the stage from San Andres.
What brings you to Stockton, Miss Santos?
The sheriff.
I sent her a letter, asked her to come over and take a look at that vaquero of yours. I trust that's all right with you?
As a matter of fact, it is not all right with me, Sheriff. However, I can't speak for one. Audra, would you get him, please?
I'm here, senora.
This is the man?
Miss Santos?
No, this man is not Joaquin.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Look at him again.
I do not need to look at him again. I am sure he is not Murrieta.
A second ago, you weren't quite so sure.
But I am now.
Juan, would you get the buggy, please?
Victoria, take my advice and get rid of that hombre.
Mother, Juan isn't Murrieta. I know that. But I had a feeling that woman was lying.
So did I, Audra. So did I.
He is Joaquin.
Juan?
Si, senor.
We have about 3 Mustangs need breaking. Think maybe we can get to it tomorrow?
Si, senor.
Here you had another visit from the sheriff yesterday.
He brought a woman called Elena Santos.
Yeah, I know. Audra told me all about it. We'll be going down to Mexico in a few weeks to buy some cattle. Think maybe we can have those broncs ready for the remuda?
Seguro, senor. ¿Cómo no?
We'll be trailing the herd back through your hometown. I always like to stop in the Gallows myself. See a friend of mine. The alcalde, you know.
Si, Luciano Tejada.
Yeah. Fine ranch he has down there. El Rancho Cañada de San Miguel.
San Antonio. So now you started wondering about me too, eh, senor?
No, just checking.
May I ask a question, senor?
Go ahead.
What if you knew that I was Joaquin Murrieta? And what if you knew that for 15 years I had been drifting from one place to another, working as a vaquero, and not wanting anything except to live in peace? If you knew that, senor, what would you do? Would you turn me over to the sheriff? But why, senor? Why would it be so important for you to see me hanged after all these years?
Are you telling me you're Murrieta?
No, senor. But now that you've started wondering about me, you won't stop.
Oye, amigo.
Dígame.
There was an hombre here looking for you.
¿Quién?
I never saw him before. He left a note for you on your bunk.
Gracias.
De nada.
This way. What is that game?
It's not a game. I am looking into your future.
What does it say?
Cards see you riding at the head of a large band of caballeros. They see you and your men raiding the ranches of the gringos, stealing their cattle and their horses. They see you robbing their banks and their stagecoaches and their trains. The cards see Joaquin Murrieta, alive.
The cards are wrong.
You are here.
I'm Juan Molina.
And that names mean nothing to the cards. They know the truth. The people know the truth. Go out to the bar. Look into the eyes of the young hombres. Walk the streets, Joaquin. See how the people stare. They know. El Patrio is alive. Benito said it. And somebody heard him and that made it true. You cannot change that. It is Ado.
I don't believe in fate. Put your cards away, señorita. Joaquin is dead.
Hasta luego, Joaquin.
No. Well?
He will be back. You will ride with him. You and many more.
Hold it. We've been waiting for you. He and my friend are going to take you somewhere and learn you some manners. Now get down from that horse. Apprendi? Sure you do. Last time we met, you talked pretty good.
Yeah, and just in case them stories we've been hearing about you are true, we're gonna drop your head off right in front of the sheriff's office.
Now get out!
What do you want?
Do you know why the sheriff is here?
Yes.
The man with him is lying, señorita. I would be hanged. I will be hanged unless you help me.
How?
Tell the sheriff I didn't kill the man. Tell him I couldn't have killed him. So it will be your word against that hombres. And you will be the one the sheriff will believe.
I don't understand. How could I tell the sheriff that you...
Señorita, you could tell him that after you came to your room tonight, you slipped out to meet me. Why don't you say that we were together until a few minutes ago?
You're not serious.
Señorita, please.
No.
My life is at stake.
No.
Why, señorita? Because the reputation of a fine Anglo lady like yourself is more important than the life of a mestizo like myself.
I wouldn't tell such a story for anybody. Anybody!
So tell your brother to stop wondering about me. I am Joaquin.
Morning, Heath. Good morning, Harry. You're putting on weight. Morning, Mr. Coggins. I am remembering the name right. It is Coggins.
Yeah.
You know, my brothers and I, we've been looking all over town for you. I guess I just happened to be the lucky one. Funny thing happened last night. We were out hunting all over the ranch for Molina, or Marietta, or whoever he is. He was right there in the house having a little talk with my sister. Oh, maybe you remember Audra. Audra says Molina claims he killed your friend in self-defense.
Well, he's a liar.
Now, look, Heath, I don't want you breaking up the...
Now, Harry, this should cover all the damages.
I'm warning you, mister. You better leave me alone.
Again, you better give me the truth.
So though Gringo has admitted he lied, what interest is that to me?
Well, I was hoping you'd know where Molina is.
Why should I know? That hombre means nothing to me.
Well, if you happen to see him, would you tell him he's in the clear?
If I see him. Joaquin, one of the Barclays, the one called Heath, was here looking for you.
What did he want?
He works with the sheriff. So do his brothers. He said he wants to be watching up front when they hang you. Everybody in Stockton is laughing at them, and they intend to make you pay for it. It is true. They want to see your head in a jar. Juan, they say you are Joaquin Murrieta.
How many men will ride with me tonight?
Tonight?
Against the Barclay Rancho. I tell you for the last time, go back to Stockton.
And I answer for the last time que no. I want to pick out some pretty clothes from the wardrobes of the senora and senorita.
No, you're staying here with the horses. The vaqueros were paid today. They will be in town. The Barclays have much wealth, and that is ours. But we leave the cattle, the horses, except for one, Ladino. And he is mine.
I think she'll be all right for the night. Let's go back to the house.
Molina.
Juan? Molina, listen to me. He's got the truth out of that drifter. You're in the clear.
That trick don't work.
Cover us.
Don't be a fool, Molina. Give up. Nick, behind you.
Get him in the house. Senores, don't let them cut off Joaquin's head this time.
Did he die as Joaquin Murrieta?
He just died, Miss Santos.
But he could have been Joaquin.
Meaning he wasn't?
I wanted him to be. And for a little while, he was. Even he believed it.
Why was that so important to you?
So he would help me. So he would help me pay you gringos back for what you did to Claudio, the man I loved.
15 years is a long time to hate.
It is also a long time for a woman to be without the man she loved.
killed him, Mother. All of us who doubted him.
I know.
And I could have saved him.
Could you?
You're Ned Stokely's son?
Yeah.
All the way from St. Louis, huh?
That's right.
No. Down on the end. No.
What's wrong with him?
Nothing I could cure. A couple months back, he got word about his wife, your ma, dying. He just quit wanting to live. Happens in a place like this.
Pa, it's me, Rich. Right here, Pa.
Richie? And I knowed you'd come. Grown man now, ain't you?
That's right, Pa.
Billy. Where's Billy?
Up to Denver. I sent for him. Just as soon as I found out he was ailing. You just hold on.
No time. 20 years they've had me in here. Away from you, Billy. Your mother. She'd be alive today if I hadn't been put in here.
Don't, Pa. Don't.
You listen to me. Them two. The two that said I did the killing. It was their word against mine.
I know, Pa.
They's the killers.
Don't. Easy.
Stockton. Over in Stockton. The banker man. And the other one. The woman. Victoria Barkley. You promise me you'll make them pay for what they've done. Promise me.
I promise. I promise. Huh?
Evening, Mr. Jarrett.
Good evening, Silas.
Jared, you're late.
And starved.
We'll have dinner whenever it's ready.
Yes, Mrs. Buck.
Well, how are things in town?
Oh, very dull and uninteresting. Maybe we should all move to San Francisco.
Oh?
From your daughter.
You have time for a sherry if you'd like.
Oh, good.
Staying until the end of the month, too many things to do, love, Audra. Well, now, isn't that newsy and full of information? But San Francisco is a difficult place to leave.
Who's winning?
Lady Luck, which happens to be on Nick's side today.
Oh? Well, I may just make plans to change that right after dinner.
And I may just give you the chance.
Well, Jared, it seems you have plans to change a lot of things.
What's that?
Otis Clark of the Stockton Bank chairs committee to nominate Jared Barkley for Attorney General.
Now, where did they get that terrible picture?
I gave it to him. After all, he's your campaign manager.
Co-campaign manager.
The co-campaign manager.
So things in town are dull and uninteresting, hmm?
Well, now, there's nothing really to get excited about yet. Are you pleased?
Of course I am. But why didn't you tell me?
Well, he didn't know about it until today. That is, that it was definite.
Now, wait a minute. I haven't accepted anything yet.
But you will, of course.
Dinner is served, Mrs. Barkley.
Thank you.
I refuse to make any major decisions on an empty stomach. Shall we?
Oh, listen to that. Typical politician. No definite answers. Keep them in suspense. Hold up the interest. Well, you just better accept, my boy.
Evening, Fred.
Evening, Otis. Closing up?
Hold a minute. Got some things to put away first. You going to that committee meeting tonight?
Yeah, after I finish making my rounds and have my supper.
Well, why don't you come over to the hotel? We'll have supper and go together in about 10 minutes.
Fine. 10 minutes it is.
Open it up and don't make a sound. What do you move?
Well, now, Mr. Otis Clark.
You know me?
Oh, indeed I do. Nice bank you got here. Mm-hmm. Must have kept you nice and comfortable for a long time.
Who are you? What do you want?
Take a good look. Maybe I'll remind you of somebody.
I never saw you before. I don't know what you're talking about.
You wouldn't care, even if you did.
Look, if it's money you want...
Well, now, if you've got some you don't want, I might as well take it. Before.
Before what?
Where's the money? Figured it out yet? But who I remind you of?
I told you. I don't know what you're talking about.
Get him! Think. What about state prison?
State?
My name's Stokely. Rich Stokely.
Stokely. State prison.
Stokely. Yeah. Now you remember. That's good. Because you're gonna die thinking about it.
Otis! Otis. Otis!
Stop.
Huh?
Stokely. Miss Stokely.
Anything?
Yeah, it was new money. Brand new. Serial numbers checked with the list the Treasury Department sent me.
It's a lucky break.
Yeah, I'm going to telegraph this list to every law enforcement office in the state.
Let's hope he starts spending it soon.
Yeah, I guess Otis's wife does, too. By the way, she's inside waiting. She said she'd been looking for you.
How's she taking it?
Oh, about as well as can be expected. Consider.
Sarah?
Jared. I was by your office earlier.
Well, I'm sorry, Sarah. I spent most of the morning at the courthouse.
And you go there again, won't you? I mean when that man who killed Otis is caught and brought to trial.
Sarah, you realize that I'm not the prosecuting attorney.
Otis always had such respect for you, Jared. He watched your career so closely, and he was so proud of you. I've heard him say, you wait, Sarah. You wait until Jared's the Attorney General. He'll do right. He'll be good for everybody. You will do right for Otis, won't you, Jared?
Sarah, whether or not I'm the Attorney General doesn't really matter. The only thing that does matter is that justice be done. I'll see to that, don't you worry.
I believe you, Jared. I leave it in your hands.
Listen, I'm going to meet Nick in a few minutes. Why don't you come with me and come on out to the ranch and visit for a few days?
No, thank you. I'm all right now.
Yes? Afternoon.
How do you do?
Mr. Barkley here.
Which one of the Barclays?
The lawyer. Jared.
No, he isn't, but he's expected. Mr. Heath is here.
How about Mrs. Barkley?
She's out visiting.
Well, I'll just wait. Where is everybody? In here. Jared, Nick, meet Rich Stokely. Howdy. It's a pleasure. A real pleasure.
You're Rich Stokely?
Yes, sir. I sure am.
How'd he get in here?
Knocked on the door.
Just like that, eh?
Just like that.
You realize you're wanted for murder?
Yes, sir. I sure do. That's why I came here. I want to see you. I figure I'm going to need a lawyer. A good one. And I hear you're the best.
Listen to him, Jared. He's got quite a story to tell.
All right, start talking.
Well, it's about all them wanted posters saying that I killed that Stockton banker man.
Didn't you?
Mister, I couldn't have. I wasn't anywhere near Stockton when it happened.
Stokely people saw you, the sheriff for one. And the dead man identified you by name before he died.
That's what I can't figure out. It had to be somebody else. I was over to Jackson, working there. You ask them. They'll tell you.
Who'll tell us?
Fella I was working for over there. Rancher by the name of Bickers, Jason Bickers. And some of the other ranch hands I was working with.
You're sure about that?
Ain't no reason not to be. Look, I figure maybe it was somebody who had it in for me. No? Used my name. Well, I don't know. But, you know, when I saw all them wanted posters, $5,000, dead or alive, well, I hightailed it over here as fast as I could to see you because I was afraid someone would put a bullet in me.
How do we know he's telling the truth?
But I am. You gotta believe me.
We don't gotta believe anything. If you're innocent, that has to be proved.
You can do that. Uh-huh. Just on what I told you.
That remains to be seen. In the meantime, I think I'd like to have the Stockton sheriff take a good look at you.
Sheriff? Boy, he'll throw me in jail, won't he?
Probably.
Well, is that what you want me to do?
Right at the moment, Stokely, I don't see that you have any choice.
The man I got locked up in that cell is the same man who came running out of the bank. I don't care if he's got 100 witnesses.
Fred, you're absolutely sure.
Good Lord, man, he took a shot at me. Of course I'm sure. I'd swear to it.
Well, when we get to court, I'm afraid you'll have to.
Not the least bit surprised Fred doesn't understand you. Who does?
Nick, the man couldn't have been in two places at the same time.
I don't deny that. The jury will decide. But why do you have to defend him? There are other lawyers, you know.
Because I believe there's a reasonable doubt.
Oh, well, you're going to go a long, long way to prove that. I'll tell you one thing there's no doubt about. You're playing with political dynamite.
Doesn't have anything to do with politics.
You are running for Attorney General.
I'm not running yet. As a matter of fact, I haven't even been nominated.
You go on defending Stokely, and chances are you won't be. Jared, Otis Clark was a well-known, well-liked man in this town.
I know that.
And public sentiment is not exactly on the side of Stokely.
Nick, a murder trial doesn't have anything to do with sentiment. Only facts do.
I think there are a few facts you've overlooked.
Such as?
Reality. A man wanting a high political position does not expose himself to the possibility of being ridiculed by the public. The voting public.
Nick, are you really suggesting that I should overlook the fact that a man's life is at stake for some kind of political imagery?
No, wait a minute, Jared. All I'm trying to do is to point out the plain, simple facts. A man in your position should drop this case.
I can't.
Why not?
Because I'm the first lawyer he came to. Nick, if he'd gone to a lawyer who was running for the presidency of the United States, that man would have the same responsibility.
And if that man didn't take the case, I wouldn't vote for him.
All right, we can proceed.
Now, Sheriff, on the night Otis Clark was murdered and the Stockton Bank robbed,
You were in the hotel at that time, is that correct?
That's correct.
Tell the court what happened.
Well, I was waiting for Otis, Mr. Clark. We were going to have dinner together before the meeting. I heard what sounded like a shot from way off. I ran outside and saw this fellow running from the bank. I yelled at him to stop. He took a shot at me. He creased me right here. But when I got my senses back, he was gone. So I ran over to the bank, found Mr. Clark on the floor. He'd been shot. He died a few seconds later.
Did he say anything to you before he died?
He did. He said Stokely. Rich Stokely.
Now, Sheriff, the man you saw run out of the bank, the man who also took a shot at you, is he in this courtroom?
He is.
Will you point him out to us and give us his name, please?
That's him. Rich Stokely.
Now, Sheriff, have you ever seen the defendant, Rich Stokely, before?
No.
And yet you feel that you got a good enough look at him the night you say he ran out of the Stockton Bank to put out this wanted poster on him and to identify him here in this court. Is that correct?
Yes. I told you that before, Jared.
Sheriff, isn't there any possibility that you could be wrong?
No.
I see. Sheriff, how would you describe a man of medium height?
5'9" to 5'10".
Mm-hmm. What about 5'11"?
Well, there's little difference.
Granted. What about 6 feet?
Well, that I'd have to call tall.
You would?
What are you driving at, Jared?
Would you please stand up, Mr. Stokely? Now, Sheriff, in your testimony, you described the man you saw that night as being of medium height. Isn't that correct?
Yes.
How tall are you, Mr. Stokely?
A little over 6'1".
Now, Sheriff, I have here in my hand a copy of the voter registration list from the last general election in the city of San Francisco. City of considerable size, wouldn't you say?
Yes.
Well, let's look here under S. Or to be more exact, under STO. What do you see?
Stokely?
How many?
About 20.
Including a Richard F. Stokely and a Richard S. Stokely, isn't that correct?
Yes.
Not that either of these gentlemen could be the defendant, but isn't it true, Sheriff, that men named Richard are often referred to as rich?
I suppose.
Well, if we have 2 Rich Stokeleys right up in the city of San Francisco, how many Rich Stokeleys do you think we have in the state of California, or in the entire country, for that matter? Now, Sheriff, isn't it entirely possible, as my client testified earlier, that it could have been someone using his name for what purpose we do not know, or that it was another Rich Stokely altogether?
That's him. That's the man who killed Otis Clark. I saw him.
Mr. Bickers, you're a rancher in Jackson, California, isn't that correct?
I run about 5,000 head.
And aren't you also on the board of directors of the Cattlemen's Bank in Jackson?
I am.
And as such, did you have occasion to do business with the Bank of Stockton, in particular Otis Clark?
Many times. Otis and I were good friends.
Where were you on the night Mr. Clark was killed?
I was in night camp. We were out after some strays.
Then I take it you had ranch hands with you?
Oh, yes.
Mr. Bickers, is any one of the men who was with you that night in this courtroom right now?
Yes. Young fellow who signed on a few days before. That's him there. Rich Stokely.
Mia, and I'll raise it 10.
Well, if it ain't Harry Banner. What are you doing in these parts?
Oh, looking at some breed stock down the valley a ways. How you been, Charlie?
Fine, fine. How are things up in Stockton these days?
Just like they are here, I guess, at least when I left. Give us a whiskey.
Sure thing.
Sweetheart. How about bringing another bottle?
That's what I'm here for.
You're called, mister. You're gonna play poker or drink?
Buddy, I can do both.
That's for the bottle, and that's for you.
You just stick around till I get through playing here.
I'm not going anywhere.
Gentlemen, I wish to inform you that should the evidence point equally to the guilt and innocence of the defendant, it is your sworn duty to take that view of the evidence that points to his innocence. Now, the law clearly prescribes, gentlemen, that where there is a reasonable doubt, and I wish to repeat that, a reasonable doubt, the defendant must be acquitted. And I feel that you gentlemen agree with me that we have far more than a reasonable doubt existing here today. Thank you.
Will the defendant please rise? Have you reached a verdict?
We have, Your Honor. We find the defendant, Rich Stokely, not guilty.
Thanks.
No! He did it! He killed my husband! You lied. You said justice would be done. You're letting that killer go! He promised me. Your son promised me. What kind of a man are you? Liar. Sarah, please. You call this justice? But my husband is dead at his hands. And your son is setting him free. My husband is dead. Do you hear me? My husband is dead. He's dead.
And here's a release for your horse and gear down at the livery stable. Thanks, Sheriff.
Wire for you. Sheriff Dolan, Modesto. I reckon you better read it.
All right, thanks, Bert. Well, listen to this, Jared. Arriving afternoon stage with suspect answering to name of Stokely. Apprehended in possession of bills matching serial numbers from Stockton Bank robbery. Request you identify.
Let me see that, Fred.
Stokely, appears I owe you an apology.
I don't see why. You did what you believed to be right, same as Mr. Barkley here. Well, I guess that'll clear up a lot of things.
Yes, I guess it will.
Why don't you stick around a while and get a look at this fellow who caused you all this trouble?
No. No, I ought to be moving on. I still got my job up to Jackson. There's a lot of work waiting for me there.
Well, that goes for me, too. We got about 500 head of cattle that are a week overdue for roundup. Nick and the boys are going out to get them, and I think I'll just go along.
You?
Why not? A little fresh air, chuck wagon food, be just like a vacation.
I guess it would have done. Your campaign coming up, you might not get another chance for a while.
That's exactly what I was thinking of.
I guess you both better get going.
Well, sorry, Stokely.
Forget it. Thanks, Mr. Barkley.
Good luck, Rich. I guess I'll see you in about a week.
You know, I always figured you'd make a fine attorney general, Jared. I'm sure of it.
Just put all that in the form of a vote, will you, Fred?
Yeah.
I think this is a cause for a little celebration. Wouldn't you say, Heath?
I reckon so.
Well, for a little while there, I thought there was some doubt.
But a shadow of a doubt. You said so yourself.
Which has now been removed. I think that's enough joking about it. Let's forget it.
Forget it on the contrary. I'm here to remind one and all that Jared did hold on to his convictions, and in the face of determined opposition. And I might add, from some members of his own family. Now, what kind of a man would do that? What kind of a man is standing before you now?
The man who should be occupying the office of Attorney General.
Here, here.
Speaking of occupying, we have a couple of saddles waiting for us.
Oh, you're coming with us, Brother Jared?
You bet I am, but I just want to close out the file on the Stokely case first, so I'll meet you in the morning.
We'll be in the North Pasture in case you need anything. Oh, by the way, while you're not doing anything, you might give some thought to that speech you're going to make in front of the nominating committee. That's in 2 weeks. It's an acceptance speech.
I'm very proud of you.
Thank you, Mother.
How much further we gotta ride?
Couple more hours.
Sure a waste of time.
You've said that.
I know, and I'll say it again. I didn't rob no bank, and I didn't kill no banker. I was over to Jackson when all that happened. Working the ranch over there.
And how'd you get that money?
Oh. That's just a coincidence. Like everything else. Money changes hands, you know. I could have gotten it any place.
Well, that finishes the Stokely case. Now for a few beautiful days of chasing a bunch of hard-headed steer.
It's going to be very good for you.
I'll get it.
Thank goodness you're here. I was afraid you'd be out in the range.
What's the matter, Fred?
Harry Banner. He was in Modesto yesterday when Sheriff Dolan arrested that suspect he's bringing in.
What about it?
He says if you stood him up beside Rich Stokely, you'd swear they were twins.
What?
He saw them both in less than 24 hours, and he thought he was seeing double.
And the other man's name is also Stokely?
That's right.
You mean it's possible that I freed a guilty man this morning?
Well, that's what I was figuring.
Of course, why not? One here in Stockton, the other in Modesto. While one commits a crime here, the other covers for him someplace else.
Well, I'll know for sure when that stage gets here. Who could have figured there'd be two of them? Of course, we don't know for sure. It could be coincidental. Two people with the same name.
Don't go yet, Fred.
Fred, I think we could both use a brandy.
Right.
You want another, Fred?
No, thanks.
You want to take a swing at me, go ahead.
No, not now. This morning, maybe, when you had me on that witness stand.
Sorry, Fred. I'm afraid I was a little rough on you.
Oh, it wasn't as bad as all that. The only thing that really got me was to be told that I didn't see what I really had seen. It kind of shook my confidence in myself.
It's done a pretty good job on my confidence, too. I thought his story was airtight.
Now, wait a minute. You just did what you had to do. Well, maybe Harry Banner's wrong.
No. No, Harry Banner wasn't wrong. When I heard Fred say that Rich Stokely might be a twin, it brought something to mind that happened a long time ago. Happened right here in Stockton. Well, I'd forgotten all about it until Fred said what he did.
What are you getting at, Victoria?
Well, 20 years ago, I was a witness at a murder trial. These are the records. There was a man. His name was Stokely. And he was part of a gang that tried to rob the old miners' bank. There was a killing. I saw it. So did Otis.
Otis?
Otis Clark. He worked at the bank at that time. It was our testimony that convicted the man. When they took him from the courtroom, he screamed. He swore that if he ever got out, he'd kill us both. Well, they had given him life, so his threat didn't really worry me. But I never considered his children as part of that threat.
His children?
2 boys, both born on the same day.
Well, I gotta meet that stage. I take it you'll be around?
Yeah, I'll be around.
I'll be back when I find out something.
Well, I guess there's nothing to do but wait.
What time does the Modesto stage get in?
Late? About sundown.
Tell you again to keep your hands quiet.
Anything you say, Sheriff.
You all right, Charlie?
Yeah, I'm all right. Hey, driver! And you in the coat! Throw your guns out!
Oh, boy. You better do what he says.
Listen to me. I'm a sheriff from Modesto. Sheriff Dolan. I've got a prisoner here. There are no passengers, nothing of value on this coach.
He telling the truth, Billy? He sure is, Rich!
What is this?
Just him and me in here. Hand your gun over to my brother!
Brother.
That's right. Now, you gonna do like he says, or you gonna let that driver up there get killed?
I got it, Rich! Come on out! Now get me out of these.
Twin brothers.
That's right.
Get out of here. What'd you do that for? You were supposed to keep out of sight till you heard from me. How come you went spending that money? All I wanted was a couple of drinks. A little fun. I got tired of waiting. You got tired of waiting. How long did Pa have to wait? Come on. Let's finish what we gotta do and clear out of this country.
Jared, Fred won't be back for some time. Now sit down and relax.
I am perfectly relaxed.
You're worried, aren't you?
Worried? Sure, I'm worried. I'm worried about that nominating committee.
Well, they can't condemn you for upholding your convictions.
Oh, you think they can't? Those men are politicians. All they care about is winning an election.
They were the same way before the trial. You weren't worried then.
Well, that was different.
True. So why don't you say what's on your mind? You're worried about me, aren't you?
Of course I am.
Well, Jared, I must admit, I don't like the idea of one or both of those men probably planning to kill me, but, I'm not going to let it spoil our dinner. Come on, let's eat.
Jim. What? Twins.
Place is empty. They're all out on Roundup. You go that way, I'll go that way.
I thought you might like some coffee.
I sure would. Thank you. What are you doing?
Oh, kind of catching up on my reading. You?
Just trying to finish this acceptance speech, just in case I still win that nomination.
Well, then I'll let you alone.
Evening, Mrs. Barkley. Figured maybe you'd like to meet my brother. Billy? Come on out here. Take a good look at the woman who killed our pa. So, this is Mrs. Barkley.
How did you get in here?
Jimmy'd opened the back window. Wasn't nobody around to stop us. Hold on now, Billy. We got plenty of time. Just like Pa had. Plenty of time.
Oh, you're fools, both of you. If you've come here to get revenge for what happened to your father, you made a big mistake.
No, Mrs. Barkley, you made the mistake. 20 years ago.
Your father was a murderer. He got exactly what he deserved.
And you put him there to die. You and that banker.
That's why we're here. It's what Pa wanted.
Have you forgotten what my son Jared did for you? You're a free man. But if you kill me, they'll hang you for sure.
Have a hard time proving it was us, Mrs. Barkley.
It doesn't make any difference which one of you does it. They'll get you both for murder.
All right, that's enough. You just quiet down and shut up.
All right now, Mrs. Barkley. Turn around. I said, turn around. All right? You want it like this.
Get up there!
Are you all right?
I'm fine. I'm fine. Jared? Jared, how did it go?
You mean my acceptance speech?
Uh-huh.
Well, I didn't make it.
Oh. Well, why not?
Well, simple fact is, I turned the nomination down.
Oh?
I've been doing a lot of thinking since I had that little talk with Nick about the hard practicalities of politics. All the compromises. The really hard facts that I hadn't thought about. I just decided that I wasn't a politician after all. I'm a lawyer.
Well, I'm not disappointed, not really.
You know, somehow I didn't think you would be.